Hope everybody is having a good day so far. We'll just give it about one more minute just to give time for everybody to get into the webinar today. All right. Well, again, hello and welcome. Thank you for joining us for today's Learning Lab webinar, Making Radio Work for Your Business, featuring iHeart Media. My name is Jenny Tukeski, and I am the Programming and Communications Manager here for the Better Business Bureau of Midwest Plains. Before we get started, just a few housekeeping notes for you. First, the webinar is being recorded today, and this is just for us to be able to use it for future reference and viewings, as well as for your own viewing pleasure as well for a future reference guide. Within 24 hours, you will receive a follow-up email with a link to this webinar, as well as the presentation materials that will be covered today. If you have any questions, please go ahead and leave them in the chat, and we will get to all the questions by the end of the presentation and before we end today. So with that, we'll go ahead and get started. Today, we are exploring how radio advertising can be a powerful tool for growing your business. While digital marketing often takes the center stage, radio remains one of the most effective ways for businesses to build brand awareness, connect with local audiences, and reinforce their overall marketing strategy. Whether you're new to radio advertising or looking to maximize your current marketing efforts, today's discussion will provide valuable insights you can put into practice. I'm excited and happy to welcome today's presenter, Jen Stalker, Area President for iHeart Media's marketing area for Nebraska, Iowa region. Jen oversees 36 radio stations and brings more than 30 years of experience in broadcasting, media, and advertising. Her career began in high school as an overnight and weekend radio announcer, and after attending the University of North Dakota, she transitioned into media sales, launching a successful leadership career that has spanned decades. Jen is passionate about helping businesses throughout the region to reach their audiences through innovative advertising strategies while maintaining a strong commitment to local communities she serves. So welcome, Jen, and it is all yours.
Thank you so much. Again, my name is Jen Stalker. I am the area president for iHeart Media's Nebraska, Iowa area. I have had the privilege of being with iHeart Media for 28 years. And as Jenny had mentioned, a total of more than 30 years in the radio industry. During that time, I've seen our business evolve in countless ways, but one thing that's remained consistent, the power of audio to connect brands with consumers. Today, I'm excited to share how iHeart's core audio products continue to deliver results for advertisers and why they remain the foundation of successful marketing campaigns. Let's dive in. One of the biggest advantages of partnering with iHeartMedia is that we're not just a radio company. We're a multi-platform media company that reaches consumers wherever they are. Radio remains the foundation, though, of our business and reaches 278 million Americans every month. That's more monthly reach than any other audio company. Our stations build trust through trusted personalities, local news, sports, and community involvement. This creates an environment where advertisers feel authentic and credible. Our brands and personalities have built one of the largest social audiences in media. With 346 million followers, we extend campaigns well beyond traditional radio. Advertisers benefit from integrated campaigns that combine on-air messaging with digital engagement and social amplification. iHeart is the #1 podcast publisher in the US. Podcast listeners are highly engaged and often consume episodes from start to finish. This gives advertisers an opportunity to reach audiences in a trusted long-form environment. Our digital platform allows listeners to stream live radio, podcasts, and custom playlists wherever they are. Digital listening creates additional opportunities for precise audience targeting and measurable campaign performance. Beyond audio, iHeart creates memorable experiences through more than 20,000 live events each year. From local concerts to national festivals, these events create meaningful opportunities for brands to connect with consumers face to face. Our influencer personalities. Our network includes over 2,000 trusted personalities and influencers. Now, these aren't just social influencers, they're voices listeners know and trust every single day. Their authentic endorsements help businesses build credibility and drive action. Now, do any of these facts surprise you? More people listen to broadcast radio today than 20 years ago. The number one use of Alexa smart speaker is AM FM radio, with iHeart as the most used radio. Consumers use broadcast radio twice as many minutes each day as YouTube. iHeart broadcast radio reaches more than 2 times as many Americans each month as TikTok does, even with teens. iHeart Podcasts is the number one podcast publisher with more downloads than the next 2 publishers combined. So, how can broadcast radio and audio approach help drive business results for you? When clients ask what makes advertising work, the answer is actually pretty simple. Marketing success comes down to influencing 2 key variables. Variable number 1, the number of consumers who hear your message. First, we need to maximize reach, getting your message in front of as many qualified consumers as possible. The more potential consumers who know your business exists, the more opportunities you create. With iHeart's unmatched scale across broadcast, streaming, podcasts, social, influencers, and events, we can dramatically expand your audience. Variable number 2, response rate. Reach alone isn't enough. We also need people to respond. That's where creative messaging, trusted personalities, compelling offers, and consistent frequency make the difference. Our trusted talent, endorsements, influencer campaigns, and strategic messaging help move people from awareness to action. Think of it as a simple equation. The more people reach times the higher response rate equals better results. If you only increase reach, but your message isn't compelling, you're going to miss opportunities. If your message is great, but only a handful of people hear it, you're going to limit your growth. When we improve both variables simultaneously, that's when business sees meaningful increases in leads, consumers, and revenue. Our job isn't simply to sell advertising. Our job is to help businesses reach more of the right people and inspire more of those people to take action. That's how we create measurable business results. If you could double the number of people hearing your message or double the percentage who respond, what would you choose? The beauty of working with iHeartMedia is that we don't have to choose. Our goal is to improve both at the same time because that's what creates exceptional growth. Once we understand the 2 variables that drive marketing success, the next question becomes, how can iHeart help your business? Well, there really are 2 ways that we create value. We build a new audio-driven marketing plan. So for some clients, we're building a marketing strategy completely from the ground up. We help identify the target audience, develop the message, recommend the right mix of radio, streaming, podcast, influencers, social media, and events, and create a campaign designed to deliver measurable results. Instead of just simply buying advertising, you'd be investing in a complete marketing strategy. Option 2, enhance an existing marketing plan. Many of our clients already have successful marketing programs in place, and our role isn't to replace what you're doing, it's to make it work even better. Audio strengthens other medias by increasing awareness, reinforcing your messaging, and keeping brands top of the mind between digital impressions, TV spots, direct mail, or in social media campaigns. The result is stronger performance across the entire marketing mix. Audio reaches people during the moments when other medias often can't, while they're driving, working, exercising, or just going about their day. It's personal, it's trusted, and repeated consistently, helping brands build familiarity and influencing purchasing decisions. Whether we're creating a campaign from scratch or enhancing an existing strategy, our goal is always the same: to help businesses reach more people, improve response, and grow revenue. One of the biggest misconceptions in advertising is that media channels compete against each other, when the reality is that the strongest campaigns are integrated and audio makes every other channel perform better. Audio increases social performance by 83%. So when consumers hear your message on trusted audio platforms, they are much more likely to engage with your social content. Audio creates familiarity before someone ever sees your social ad, making those impressions even more effective. Instead of introducing your brand, social media is reinforcing a brand that people already know. Audio drives digital and social engagement by 109%. This is one of the most impressive statistics on this slide. Adding audio more than doubles digital and social engagement. Consumers don't live in one channel. They hear your brand on the radio or podcast, then interact with it later online. That's how today's customer journey works. Audio increases branded search activity by 47%. When people hear a compelling message, they often don't respond immediately. They pull out their phone later and search for the business. Nearly a 50% increase in branded search means more people are actively looking for your company. That's a strong indicator that audio is driving real consumer intent. Audio doesn't replace your digital marketing, your social media, or your search campaigns. It makes them all work harder. Think about your own behavior. You hear about a restaurant or a dealership or retailer while you're driving. You don't stop what you're doing, you simply remember the name. Later that day, you Google them, visit their website, check out their reviews, or follow them on social media. That's exactly what these numbers represent. The best marketing isn't about choosing one medium over another. It's about creating multiple touch points that reinforce one another. Audio is often the catalyst that turns awareness into action, making every marketing dollar work more effectively. At the end of the day, marketing starts with reach. If people don't know your business exists, they can't become customers. iHeart Broadcast Radio reaches 88% of US adults every month. That's more than YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, or TV. Combined with our digital platforms, we reach 9 out of 10 Americans every month. Consumers engage with our brands throughout the day, at home, in the car, at work, or on the go. This scale allows us to deliver both mass reach and targeted audiences depending on a client's goals. The more qualified people we reach, the more opportunities we create for businesses to grow. No matter what industry you're in, you can't influence customers if you don't have reach. iHeart's unmatched audiences give businesses the ability to put their message in front of more people than almost any other media company. Reaching more people is the first step. The next step is making sure the right people hear the right message often enough to inspire action. One of the things that truly sets iHeartMedia apart is our ability to combine national scale with local impact. We have a presence coast to coast with more than 860 owned radio stations and over 6,000 affiliate stations across America. Every community has its own trusted voices, while national advertisers benefit from one seamless network. Our reach extends beyond radio with over 170 million monthly podcast downloads and more than 1,100 trusted on-air personalities who connect with audiences every day. Whether a client wants to reach one neighborhood, a state, or the entire country, iHeart has the ability to scale a campaign to fit their goals. No matter where your customers are, iHeartMedia has the reach, the relationships, and the trusted voices to help your message connect. One of the biggest questions advertisers ask is, can you reach my customers? And the answer is yes, because our audience reflect virtually every important consumer segment. iHeart doesn't just deliver large audiences, we deliver the right audiences. No matter who your ideal customer is, chances are they're already listening to radio or even us at iHeart. We can help your reach broad audiences or highly targeted consumer segments all through one trusted partner. Marketing isn't just about reaching the person who makes the purchase. It's also about reaching the people who influence that decision. 82% of consumers say their purchasing decisions are influenced by other people's opinions. Radio is uniquely positioned because it reaches both the target consumer and their circle of influence. That's their spouses, family members, friends, coworkers, and neighbors. Those trusted conversations often happen after someone hears a message on the radio, turning advertiser into word of mouth. This is especially valuable for high consideration purchases like vehicles, home improvement, healthcare, financial services, and major retail purchases. When multiple people hear or talk about the same brand, it builds familiarity, trust, and confidence, making consumers more likely to choose that business. Now, imagine someone hears an ad for a roofing company after a hailstorm, which is very common here. That evening, they mention it to their spouse who say, "Oh, yeah, I've heard of them too." And suddenly, your advertising has created confidence before anyone even picks up the phone. Radio doesn't just reach consumers, it reaches communities. And when people start talking about your brand, your marketing extends far beyond the original audience. That's one of the reasons radio continues to be such a powerful medium. It doesn't just generate awareness, it sparks conversation that influence buying decisions. Reaching people is important, but keeping their attention is what really drives results. That's where audio really stands out. Consumers spend 81 minutes every day listening to broadcast radio, making it one of the most engaging ad supported media platforms available. Radio commands more daily attention than YouTube, podcast, streaming audio, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. Unlike many digital platforms that encourage scrolling past content, radio is actually a lean in experience. Listeners stay engaged while driving, while they're working, or going about their day. Because people spend more time with radio, advertisers have more opportunities to build familiarity, trust, and message recall. The longer consumers spend with a medium, the more opportunities a brand has to influence awareness, consideration, and ultimately purchasing decisions. It's not just about impressions, though, it's about engagement. Radio gives advertisers more quality time with consumers, and that translates into stronger brand recall and better business outcomes. Now, it's one thing to spend time with a medium, it's another to actually reach the audience you're trying to influence. And that's where broadcast radio continues to lead. Broadcast radio reaches 93% of US adults, more than YouTube, digital audio, streaming, Facebook, television, podcasts, Instagram, TikTok. And that means advertisers can reach nearly everyone, not just the people on one platform or one app. While digital channels tend to fragment audiences, radio continues to deliver broad, consistent reach every week. Radio is also additive. It complements digital and social campaigns by reaching consumers throughout their daily routines. Now, why does this matter? You can't influence consumers that you don't reach. The broader your reach, the more opportunities you have to build awareness, generate consideration, and drive sales. If your goal is to maximize awareness and put your brand in front of as many potential customers as possible, broadcast radio remains one of the most effective and efficient media channels available. In today's fragmented media landscape, reaching 93% of adults through a single medium is incredibly powerful. That's why radio continues to be the foundation of so many successful marketing campaigns. Consumers spend 31% of their media time with audio, making it an essential part of any marketing mix. With an ad supported audio, broadcast radio accounts for 61% of all listening, far exceeding podcasts and streaming audio. If consumers are spending time with audio, your advertising investment should reflect that behavior. Radio provides the broadest reach with the greatest share of ad supported listening, making it the foundation of an effective audio strategy. Podcasts and streaming are valuable additions, but broadcast radio remains the most efficient way to build awareness at scale. The best media plans mirror consumer behavior. And since consumers spend significant time with audio, and most of that time is with broadcast radio, it definitely deserves a meaningful place in every marketing strategy. Now, podcasting has become one of the fastest growing forms of media, and iHeartMedia isn't just participating, we are leading the industry. iHeart is the number one podcast publisher in the US with more monthly downloads than the next two publishers combined. We generate 171 million monthly downloads, giving advertisers unmatched scale in this podcast space. Whether it's broadcast radio or podcasts, iHeartMedia gives advertisers access to the largest audio audience in America, all through one trusted partner. Now, as the number one podcast publisher, iHeart podcasts are available everywhere people listen on the iHeart Radio app, Apple, Spotify, and more. Now, with YouTube, we're reaching new audiences while continuing to grow in audio. Our goal is to make it easy for fans to find and enjoy content wherever they are, whether it's through audio, video, live events, or broadcast radio. Unlike radio has shared audience across many stations, people typically pick one music streaming platform form. So if you're only using Spotify or any other single digital streaming service, you are completely ignoring a majority of your customers. Now, how do we improve response rates? Ultimately, every marketing investment comes down to one question. What's my return? The good news is that audio consistently delivers. According to Nielsen Marketing Mix Models, radio is one of the highest performing return on investment channels available. Radio ranks second only to paid social. It outperforms video, display, podcast, print, TV, out of home search, and connected TV. In fact, radio beats 7 out of 10 major advertising channels when it comes to return on investment. Radio works because it combines mass reach, high frequency, trusted personalities, and cost efficiency, all key drivers of sales. And when paired with digital and social campaigns, radio often amplifies the performance of those investments as well. Marketing isn't just about spending money. It's about investing in channels that generate measurable business results. If your goal is to maximize return on investment, audio deserves to be a very key part of your marketing strategy. It consistently delivers strong returns while strengthening the performance of your overall media mix. The best campaigns don't just make noise, they produce results. That's why marketers continue to invest in radio, because it works. Now, we've talked about the power of reach. Now, let's talk about what turns reach into results and meaningful engagement. Companionship matters. Our on-air personalities build trusted relationships with listeners, making advertising feel more like a recommendation than an interruption. And we connect with our consumers' passions. Whether it's music, sports, news, or podcasts, people choose content that they're passionate about, and brands become part of that experience. You stay top of mind. Consistent messaging keeps your business in the consideration set when customers are ready to buy, whether they're shopping online or just walking into the store. We reach consumers at the right moment. Audio reaches people while they're driving, commuting, running errands, or making purchasing decisions, often when immediate action is possible. Own high engagement moments. Traffic, weather, breaking news, local events, and live sports create highly attentive listening environments where your message has greater impact. Advertising works best when consumers know you, they trust you, they remember you, and hear from you at the right moment. That's exactly what audio delivers. Reach gets you noticed. Engagement builds relationships. Those relationships drive higher response rate and better business results. People don't just listen to the radio, they build routines around it. When your brand becomes part of those daily routines, you become part of their buying decisions. One of the biggest reasons audio advertising works is trust. Our listeners don't just hear our hosts, they build relationships with them. 78% of listeners trust their favorite radio host's product recommendations. 80% believe their favorite host speaks for them and their community, creating authenticity that traditional advertising often can't match. 82% trust their favorite host recommendations for local events and activities, making local personalities incredibly influential. 79% trust recommendations from their favorite audio hosts on entertainment, showing that listeners regularly act on what they hear. Host endorsements feel like trusted recommendations, not traditional commercials. That trust transfers to advertisers, helping brands build credibility much faster. This is especially powerful for local businesses where consumers value recommendations from familiar voices in their community. Think about how often that you've tried a restaurant or attended an event or visited a local business because someone that you trusted recommended it. That's exactly what our personalities do every day for our clients. People don't just trust our stations, they trust the people behind the microphone. That trust is one of the most valuable marketing assets we can offer for our clients. Media buys create awareness. Trusted personalities create influence, and influence is what turns listeners into customers. 80% of our listeners truly consider our hosts their friend. Now, technology is changing rapidly. AI is becoming part of our everyday lives, but one thing hasn't changed. People still crave authentic human connection. AI can create content, but it can't create genuine relationships. At iHeartMedia, our greatest competitive advantage isn't technology, it's the trusted human connection our personalities have built with listeners. In a world filled with algorithms, authenticity stands out. That's why real voices continue to influence real buying decisions. Our mission is to give everyone in America a friend who's there anytime, anywhere, by using the power of audio and to create deep and engaged relationships. To deliver against our mission, we've built ourselves to be human first, guaranteed. One of the greatest advantages of audio is that it reaches consumers when they're closest to making a purchase. 85% of consumers say radio is the last thing they hear before shopping or choosing how they'll pay. One of the most valuable places to reach consumers is in the car because that's where they're making decisions about where they'll go and what they're going to buy. The average American now spends 49 hours in a car in traffic. It sounds awful, but it's true. It creates more opportunities than ever to connect with consumers. Now, embedding in culture increases response rates. We're more than an audio company, we're a culture connector. We help shape conversations, introduce what's next, and give brands a chance to be part of those moments. People don't just come to iHeart to hear what's popular, they come to discover what's next. And that gives our advertising partners the opportunity to connect with audiences in meaningful and memorable ways. iHeart is where unknown artists become names that everybody knows. Now, iHeart impact on results. Our investment in Audiograph will allow you to incorporate audio into your plans more easily. And we know that when brands invest in broadcast, it works across every stage of the consumer journey, including ad recall, likelihood to recommend, and of course, purchasing. The best marketing strategy isn't always about spending more, it's about spending smarter. Radio helps marketers improve both effectiveness and efficiency. Broadcast radio delivers 60% more unique reach than digital only campaigns at comparable impression levels. That means radio reaches consumers who may never see your digital ads, helping eliminate wasted impressions and expand your audience. Even a small adjustment of your media mix can have a significant impact. Shifting just 10% of a mid-range TV budget to radio increases overall campaign reach by 47%. Radio doesn't replace digital or television, it complements them by filling in the gaps and reaching audiences where other medias can't. The goal again isn't to spend more, it's to make every marketing dollar work harder. Radio helps advertisers reach more people, improve campaign efficiency, and maximize the impact of your existing media investments. One of radio's biggest strengths is listener loyalty. While consumers constantly jump between TV channels and streaming options, radio listeners develop lasting habits. The average consumer watches content across 43 different TV and video channels in a typical week. Yet they listen to just 3 radio stations, creating consistent exposure to the same personalities and advertisers. That loyalty means your message is heard repeatedly by the same audience, helping build familiarity, trust, and recall. Listen ofteners have favorite radio stations and hosts that become part of their daily routines, whether it's in the morning commute, work day, or drive home. People may browse dozens of TV channels, but they come back to the same few radio stations every day. That kind of consistency every advertiser wants. How do you use iHeart? Throughout this presentation, you've seen that no single platform does everything. The best results come from using the right combination of solutions to achieve your business goals. In iHeartMedia, we don't just sell radio, we build integrated marketing insights. We can combine broadcast, radio, podcast streaming, influencers, digital advertising, programmatic search, social, sponsorships, and live events into one seamless campaign. Every platform has a purpose. Some build awareness, some drive engagement, and others help convert consumers into customers. The advantage of working with us at iHeart is that you have one partner helping coordinate the entire marketing strategy instead of managing multiple vendors. Now, we've seen the strengths of each audio platform. Now the question becomes, how do we put them together to maximize results? We start with broadcast radio as the foundation. It delivers the broadcast reach, accounting for 61% of ad supported audio listening. Now, if you layer in podcasts to build deeper engagement with higher passionate and niche audiences, yeah, digital streaming to reinforce messaging and reach listeners across every device, the most effective campaigns don't rely on one platform. They use each platform for what it does best. Think of broadcast radio as the engine that drives reach, podcasts as the tool that deepens engagement, and streaming as the connector that keeps your brand present throughout the day. Together, they create an audio strategy that's greater than the sum of its parts. One of the biggest questions that we hear from advertisers is, how will I know if this is working? The answer is simple. We measure it. At iHeartMedia, we believe every marketing investment should be accountable. We measure success across the metrics that matter the most, from brand awareness and consideration to website traffic, store visits, online sales, and retail sales lift. Whether your campaign includes broadcast radio, streaming podcasts, or a combination of those, we can provide meaningful performance insights. We partner with industry leading measurement companies to provide independent, trusted reporting. Now, we're not asking clients to simply trust that our advertising worked. We're providing data to demonstrate results. Every campaign starts with clear business objectives, and then we align our reporting to those goals. Our process is simple: understand your audience, create the right message, deliver it at the right time through trusted voices, and measure every step of the way. At iHeartMedia, we're not here to sell advertising. We're here to become a marketing partner, helping you reach more customers, create meaningful connections, drive measurable results, and grow your business. And that's what I have for you today. I'm open to questions.
Thank you so much, Jen. Um, for a business that has never advertised on radio before, what should they do to get started?
That's a great question. And as I said in this presentation, it starts with a good customer needs analysis. And so, what we do is we sit down with the business and we go through what their goals are and what they want their outcomes to be. And then we custom create a marketing plan to deliver those key performance indicators for those businesses.
Great. What are some common mistakes businesses make when they're creating a radio advertisement?
Also, a great question. I think some of the mistakes are broadcast radio really works through consistency. So I think one of the biggest mistakes that people make is they try a campaign that either doesn't have enough frequency to it, we don't have the right messaging with it, but they cut the campaign short and they don't give it the actual time it needs through consistency to be able to get to the right consumer, to make that consumer think of them and become top of mind for that consumer.
So, with that, then, what makes something memorable for a consumer to believe in it or to remember it when they're getting out of their car and going shopping or whatever?
Yep. So there's a couple different ways to make that memorable. One of the things I talked about in this presentation was influencers and endorsements and utilizing the trusted talent that broadcast radio has. As I mentioned earlier, influencers are like friends, and it's like getting a recommendation from a friend. And so I think that is a key component. If you're not into influencers or don't think that that's something that you'd be interested in, great creative audio. I think of a Menards commercial. My kids, when they were younger, were singing the jingle for Menards. And so having something that's catchy, that sticks in your head, that's a real key to getting people to remembering your message.
I think still today we all think that the Menards jingle.
Yes.
If somebody is on a limited budget but still wants to create an effective radio campaign, is that something that's possible and doable for them?
It is. And one of the things that we recommend for that is we tighten up a window of when that broadcast campaign would air. So as an example, with a limited budget, We recommend doing this is simply just an example, like a weather sponsorship that would include a live read of the weather, or right before the weather would be announced, and then a commercial that goes with it. It airs simply just once a day. This is just an example of that, but it would air just once a day, but it's consistent where it's the same time every day. And again, with that, you have to make sure that you keep it going for long enough that it creates a habit and people are used to hearing it and it starts becoming catchy. So, for a smaller budget, we really custom create a plan that fits within that budget. And I'll be honest, I mean, there have been times where someone has come to us and said, here's my budget, what can I do with it? And there's times where it's just simply not enough to make an impact. And we really pride ourselves on, again, we're not just here to sell you. Like, we want whatever you're going to be doing with broadcast radio to work for you. So there are times where we have turned the business down and said, or we've shifted it somewhere else and said, we truly think that this marketing budget would be better placed doing this, and you're going to get more results with this.
Right. And then last question. If you could give business owners one piece of advice about incorporating radio in their marketing strategy, what would it be?
I think broadcast radio should really be the core of anyone's marketing campaign. It has the reach, we can provide the frequency, and it's really one of the most cost-effective mediums out there. I don't think people realize that. And so I think it really needs to be the core of what your marketing strategy is. Now, if you're already doing television or social or anything like that, adding broadcast radio into that is really only going to enhance what you're currently doing. I think one of the messaging that I already had in there was if you simply just take 10% of the budget that you're already spending on something else and put that into broadcast radio, the return on that is insane. And we have all the tools to measure that as well. So that's something that's also new. For the longest time, broadcast radio was never measurable, and now it is. And so that's really exciting for us that we can actually prove what broadcast radio does for your campaigns.
That's great. Well, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate your time today, Jen, and sharing your expertise and insights with us in regards to the power of radio and advertising out there and broadcasting in general and all the different components that you can help organizations with too. So thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Also, thank you to all of you who have joined today. We truly appreciate your participation and hope that today's discussion has been helpful in regards to the practical ideas and better understanding of how radio can actually help your business and your brand awareness as a whole, and ways that maybe in the future you can use this to market your goals that you have. Just as a reminder, just wanted to let you know that we will get this webinar out to you within the next 24 hours, as well as the presentation information that Jen discussed today. Some unbelievable, amazing stats that I even didn't even know about. So I was learned so much today. So thank you. If you have any questions or anything, please let us know. We also have in that follow-up email, there will be a link to a survey. Please give us your feedback. We would like to know what your thoughts were on today's webinar, but also things that you would like to see in the future, not only for yourself, but for other business owners just like you within the Learning Lab area. So thank you so much. We hope everybody has a wonderful day, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care.
Thank you.